It's a goal! Are you kidding? Hancock stops it! He lost sight of it! Christmas! The wraparound! It's over!
Hello, everybody. I'm Grant Fluff from Fletcher Sports Zone. Welcome to Season 4, Episode 12 of the Powerskateshow. Back at it again on a Saturday evening. Hope everyone enjoyed the week, including a lot of good hockey games on this week and a very special nostalgia of the week coming up later on in the show. But before we get carried away, let's introduce Alex Stossel.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to Season 4, Episode 12 of the Powerskateshow podcast. Do you know what we're doing again? Another pre-record. Because as you can see behind me, it's afternoon as we're recording this the day before Halloween. So yeah, if you guys are wondering, what am I going to be for Halloween? I'm just going to be myself. I'm going to be securing my house and wait for other trick-or-treaters coming here by an amazing state of Maryland. And with that, Grant, how are you doing today, my friend? And I see that you're wearing something amazing, huh?
Yeah, well, jerseys for later on in the show. Yeah, but for Halloween, I'm going to be real with you. If I'm going to wear anything, it's definitely going to be a hockey jersey. I've been that guy who just wears my jerseys as Halloween costumes. And I'm just like, you know what? This is good enough for me.
I guess so. All right, so might as well we would do some introductions. You guys have to follow the Powerskateshow. Like we said, best in the game. We're still 6 followers away from 1.3. And also, whoever's unfollowing us, out. I'm just kidding. For the entire 1,294 followers, thank you for tuning in during our whole entire journey on Powerskate. And hold on, we're not done. We're not done. You guys are required to follow Fletcher Sports Zone if you're diehard Powerskate fans.
That's right. You get not only the hockey news, but you get news from the NBA, NFL, and MLB as well. World Series updates, NFL transactions, all that good stuff. All on the page, and of course, including the hockey news every week. You don't want to miss out. 200 away from 2K. Let's get there.
Yeah. All right. Let's get this party started. Ooh. Let's start out with this which was last week, but the Iowa Wild unveiled their new uniforms that they wore the game last week. during the Wild and Rockford Ice Hogs game.
Is it bad that I don't like these jerseys? Listen, they tried to copy the Golden Knights with their golden helmet, which I do think the Golden Knights helmets do look significantly better. And just not a fan. They're trying lime green and white, trying to mash it into one. I mean, at least it's an AHL jersey, so they can get away with it. But if this was an NHL jersey, I have a feeling people would be knocking on the Minnesota Wild design operators' front door and be like, yo, what the heck are these jerseys? We are not playing these in NHL games, even preseason. So, for me, I'm in the middle. I've seen significantly worse jerseys, but they could have probably done better too. There's a lot you can do with green and yellow. Maybe throwing some red in there as well, and they just didn't do enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a perfect picture with the jerseys. So bear with me for a couple of seconds. For the jersey, all right, got a good picture. Hold on. The jersey, we're only gonna talk about the jersey since we already discussed the helmet. We see it, we understand. The question about the jersey, it has cream, like cream tan, a little bit of white and green. Listen, for all Minnesota Wild fans, Iowa Wild fans, I hate to say it, but yours is kind of like what an AHL reverse retro would be like. And I'm not saying that this jersey looks bad as a home away. Well, in reality, it is. But this should be an alternate jersey at best. This one, my question is, this is now your alternate. This was your home jersey before Marco Rossi became an Iowa Wild. Is this a bad move as we speak? In reality, yes, because this was your main logo that everybody knows, and this is like the Minnesota Wild alternate jersey before their Adidas jerseys came. And now,
oh yeah, that's right. Those were their alternates with the all greens. Yeah.
So now this is like your home. This would be your alternate, or this would have been your specialty jerseys. Like, for example, it's an off-topic example. If this was like a Field of Dreams night, then this would be an even better jersey because it says Iowa. They even said Iowa in the script. That would be a good thing as we speak. So, I mean, good thing that they kept this thing as your dark jersey version of it, but I kind of despise of doing the switcheroo of this was
not good. I mean, this is the type of color that you wear for like 1 year. You give it a shot. If you notice it doesn't look that good, you don't set it as your actual home jersey. Those are just one of those things where, again, you wear as alternates. You wear it once and throw it away. If the fans like it, bring them out again. But, really, Minnesota can do a lot better with their color schemes, and that's not one of them.
Yeah.
It could work if they were the Milwaukee Admirals, but this not on the Iowa Wild. It don't work.
Yeah. Next, we have a trade. Sharks trade Dylan Gambrell to the Ottawa Senators for a 2022 7th round pick. Ooh. You said I know what you said when Dylan Gambrell resigned. I think it was like a 2 or 3 year deal, I believe. You said he earned a roster spot. Someone who can fit in the second or third line.
In due time.
Yes. He's pretty much ready to go as a full-time NHL player. And I understand the direction what Ottawa's gone to. As we all know, Gambrell can be well efficient with Ottawa for a team that can be a bubble playoff team probably the next year or 3 years around that time frame. Gambrell can record 40 points around that time frame, and then Ottawa will be a dominant playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, this was such a smart move by Ottawa. San Jose got absolutely fleeced. They didn't even give Gambrell a shot until last year. They realized, oh, he only averaged, 13 points and 12 points, in 49 games. We're going to trade him for a 7th-round pick. Where you could have traded Gambrell to the Senators for a Senators prospect or something. No, instead, we're just going to be content with the 7th-round pick we're getting. Then we're going to let Ottawa finish the development. Dylan Gambrell has already started here in San Jose, and he's going to become that third-line player who's going to be, who's going to score a few points during the Senators' future playoff runs. Gambrell's only 25, and again, he has very limited NHL experience, but in the experience he does have, it is shown, even right now, you can put him on the majority of the NHL teams, and he would be a stable third-line center for you, really. And especially for Ottawa, they're looking at their chops because, remember, they lost Colin White. They desperately needed a center. And obviously, you want to roll with someone like Dylan Gambrell instead of Tyler Ennis or maybe an undeveloped player in the AHL. You're saying, San Jose, we're going to take this player from you. You get nothing, but we're going to take this from you, and we're going to make sure he blossoms into a decent bottom 6 guy for our future playoff runs. That's essentially what Ottawa said San Jose. And San Jose was like, you know what? We quit on developing him after 3 years. Go right ahead. Remember, Gambrell was drafted in the 2nd round in 2016. Guy has a lot of upside. Why San Jose gave up on him so quickly, I have no idea.
I mean, if you were ever to trade, and Ottawa, you can call me high wherever you want.
Oh, boy.
If the Sharks get something, I would say Gambrell to Ottawa for Alex Formenton. Here's why I brought up Alex Formenton. Yes, I know Ottawa always says, he's part of the piece into our rebuilds. He's pretty much the guy who you can build a team around. Alex Formenton, he is a bottom 6 player. Didn't he play like 12 career games in the last 3 years? If you're talking about key players, Colin White, Brady Tkachuk, Drake Batherson, Josh Norris, Brady Tkachuk, Thomas Chabot, Eric Brandstrom, Jacob Bernard-Docker, and Hogberg, the goalie. These are your key pieces to build the team around. Oh, and Tim Stützle, not to mention. But you have plenty of guys. I would say Formenton would be a good a trade target for San Jose if Dylan Gambrell trades to Ottawa for Alex Formenton.
Yeah, well, San Jose definitely undersold him, unfortunately.
Yeah. Next. McDowd out due to a lower body injury. Next, I guess. Well,
I mean, good 4th liner for Washington, but they aren't necessarily hurt without him.
Ducks play center Alexander Volkov on conditional waivers due to a purpose of a buyout. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alexander Volkov to the KHL.
Basically, yeah, he's done. He's already done. And what is he, 23, 24?
I guess so.
Yeah, man, he's done for. Listen. It was never, well, I shouldn't say he was never really given a chance. He obviously hasn't had a ton of NHL experience. But I feel, just maybe he could do well on another team. I know he was a former Leaf prospect, then came over to the Ducks. He has 14 points in 46 career games. you know, he's nothing anything crazy. I think he is going to the KHL. Maybe he signs an AHL deal somewhere. But, KHL is probably his number one destination. If he gets another shot on NHL roster, good for him. It's his last shot. It is literally his last shot in the NHL if he gets another roster spot.
Game alert, Capitals defeat Senators 7-5 at the Canadian Tire Center, and Oshie recorded 3 goals, and McMichael first 2 points.
Yeah, he allowed 5 goals to Ottawa. Big whoop. But congrats to TJ Oshie and Connor McMichael. But whoever was in net, Vanchek or Samsonov, not happy with them.
And also Oshie is out due to a lower body injury against Detroit, which I have not even seen it. But weird. Yeah.
If it is true, goodbye to a legend.
Shea Weber announces retirement from professional hockey per Justin Trudeau. After playing 16 years in the NHL.
I'll tell you one thing, man. First ever Predator to get inducted into the Hall of Fame right here.
Yeah.
4-time All-Star, 589 career points, over 1,000 career games. Guy never slowed down statistically. He battled through that playoffs last year and still had the heart of a lion. The definition of a leader. That is Shea Weber. And man, oh man, I'm very bummed he's going to retire because fantastic player and fantastic human as well. I wish he didn't go out, all battered and bruised with injuries and a cup loss, but ultimately I think he's going to find him spot in the Hall of Fame. So not to worry, Weber. You are going to live on in hockey infamy.
Yeah. Again, like for someone, it's very unfortunate that he has never won a Stanley Cup in his career. But at least he had some achievements as far as like individual or team is concerned. Won the Mark Messier NHL Leadership Award. I think if that award still returns, this is the definition of Shea Weber being a 2-time Mark Messier NHL Leadership Award. Because of the 2021 playoffs with him like working hard during the playoffs, dealing with leg injuries or like back injuries or whatever that he's been out. This dude should get a 2-time Mark Messier NHL Leadership Award.
Absolutely.
And also won the gold medal in 2010. Which I'm not even going to bring that up anymore. But anyway, what an amazing career by Shea Weber. All right. This is why. All right. If you guys are wondering why, I think no one has not even said anything during this investigation. As I looked on past podcasts like Steve Dangle podcast and some other hockey podcasts, seems like no one did even say anything. No one did not say anything about this investigation. No one's even talking about it. So anyway, with that, we're going to talk about it.
We didn't talk about it either. And I personally didn't want to talk about it until the truth was revealed. Truth is revealed. And oh boy, we're going to get into some Chicago Blackhawk topics. Not going to be fun.
Stan Bowman has stepped down after the evidence from the allegations of the 2009-10 Chicago Blackhawks team. Next.
I mean, it's awful. It sucks. You have to have a pretty good GM like Stan Bowman step down. But guess what? Deed had to be done. You don't abuse your players and get away with it. I don't care if you won a championship. I don't care, in this case, if you're Bowman, you won 3 championships. Do not care. You don't abuse your players. You deserve to get fired. And unfortunately, news is coming out now, but it's 11 years too late. That's what's the worst thing of this all. The Blackhawks dynasty may have never happened if this was caught in like 2012, 2013. Maybe it doesn't happen. Stan Bowman gets fired a long time ago. Joe Quenneville, we'll get to him in a little bit, of course. He's not the head coach for that team. If this is brought up earlier rather than later, who knows if that 2010s Blackhawks dynasty happens? That is the biggest question mark out of all of this. And again, I mean, if you abuse your players, you deserve to get fired and basically get banned from the league. Obviously, do not support that. Ridiculous.
Yeah, and also which was not made on the Powerskate show, but Carl Beach was the one who admitted, known as John Doe. Yeah, like it's, and also I think we all know why. Well, why Chicago isn't doing good. They have 0 wins. What is going on with Marc-Andre Fleury? Like,
oh, Fleury's done. He knew the second he got traded. He got traded out of Vegas for essentially a player who got bought out of his contract 3 weeks after the trade. I think Fleury's like, you want to know what? Chicago, thank you. I'm playing one more year. I'm going back to Vegas or Pittsburgh and retiring. You don't care at this point. I honestly feel the Blackhawks have just sucked the fun out of Marc-Andre Fleury. And, this paints a horrible image, not only for the Blackhawks organization, but guys who are playing for the franchise now, guys who are playing for it then. Now, obviously, I know Patrick Kane, he said, he didn't know what was going on with this player abuse thing. I know Duncan Keith didn't even want to talk about it. But listen, the moral of the story is the truth is out. And whether you want to talk about it or not, the truth is eventually going to be revealed. And it just paints an awful look for the Blackhawks. And it's so unfortunate for the franchise. But at the same time, they put it upon themselves. So it's now their battle to fight.
Mm-hmm. And now, to redeem it, we have to give someone a round of applause. Because do you know why?
Yeah, this is – listen.
Hold on.
I'm ready to go when you're ready to go.
The Kraken defeated the Montreal Canadiens in their first ever win in Climate Pledge Arena. And also the Kraken honored the 1917 Stanley Cup with a banner to commemorate with the Seattle Metropolitans.
Okay, first things first, congrats on the Kraken for winning the first ever home game. Good, you beat those frauds in Montreal. Okay, second thing second. Why? Okay, listen. Yes, the Seattle Metropolitans were an AHL team until 1924. And I like the idea of hanging a banner for their championship when they beat Montreal in 1917. But listen. You hang banners for your franchise, not for the state, but for the franchise. The Seattle Metropolitans have absolutely no reason being in the Kraken arena other than, we used to play in Seattle 100 plus years ago. Fantastic. No, here's the thing. You're supposed to retire numbers and hang banners when it revolves around your franchise. There's one thing if a Hurricane retire a Hartford Whaler player or the Winnipeg Jets eventually retire Ilya Kovalchuk's number. That's kind of two different things because those were relocations. This is, Seattle had a team from, 1916 to 1924. They defunct. The Kraken are back in 2021. We're going to go hang a championship banner from 104 years ago. It's really not a good look. And I was talking to multiple people about this as well. It's not a good look for the franchise. Really, it's not. It's like you're trying to you're just trying to force stuff. You're trying to give yourselves credit for something you kind of didn't do. Again, the Metropolitans really don't have anything to do with the Kraken's franchise other than playing in Seattle. People like it. Alex, I want to hear your opinion on this. It seems like you are fine with it. I mean, it's fine, obviously, but it's just something I wouldn't do unless it was like a relocation or something. But I don't know. What do you think of this? I'm just not the biggest fan of it.
First off, I kind of did disagree with your opinion, but I would say a little bit I do agree. First things first, you pretty much, I know what the Kraken's direction honoring the Metropolitans. We heard rumors about the reverse retro coming up next year. The Kraken might go with the Metropolitans direction as far as Jersey is concerned. Think about, for example, the Ottawa Senators. They came back in 1993. They had their Stanley Cup banner with the original Senators in the early 1910s. So my question is the new team commemorating their old team since Ottawa had recently had their hockey team before the new team came in? That's my question. In reality, I think Seattle did a good job commemorating their old team that played in the city of Seattle.
Well, they did a good job with the banner and the celebration and everything. Yes, they nailed that on the head. The issue is the Metropolitans are theoretically not part of the Kraken franchise. That's where I'm getting on. And I'm like, you're clearly just trying to like throw in banners and stuff to make the stadium look nice, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
They're trying to do all these celebrations in the beginning. Like, maybe Seattle could have pulled this off. You should have waited a few years. Or, wait until 2027. You would have had the 110-year anniversary. Like, you could have maybe hung this banner up. You just had to wait. And your second ever home game? I mean, at least it wasn't the first banner you run. They did retire the 32. But you see, retiring the 32, that makes sense. 32,000 season ticket holders, 30-second franchise. That made sense.
Yeah.
This makes sense too, but again, I would have waited until you're a much older franchise.
And also, if you want to talk about hating the Metropolitans and not having it in your second ever home game, how about next year if the Kraken wear their reverse retro jerseys? If the reverse retro jerseys come back next year, you should
nailed it.
Next,
absolutely nailed it. Wear the reverse retros against Montreal next year and hang the banner then.
Nailed it.
There we go. NHL continues to struggle marketing skills. Oh boy, hate to see it.
Next.
Yep.
Canucks defenseman Travis Hamonic will return to play hockey. Just a little clap. After returning from personal issues, and he will report to Abbotsford.
I mean, listen, he was giving Vancouver a lot of garbage. And listen, I know, he's dealing with personal issues, and I obviously understand that. And obviously, life comes before hockey. But, yeah, the way he was getting sent down, he wasn't going to the minors. He was kind of causing a disruption in the Canucks front office. It makes sense why he's starting in the AHL. Obviously, Travis Hamonic, I think, is an AHL worthy player, but It makes sense for like the first few weeks. He's kind of stays in the AHL. Maybe they're gonna promote him to the NHL once his personal issues are all set and done. But at the same time, the fact that, he was going down to the minors, but he never really went down to the minors, and then it was just causing a disruption. And so I kind of understand why Vancouver wanted to just say, all right, Hamonic, glad you're able to play, but we're going to play in the AHL until further notice.
Yeah.
Just suffering a little punishment. That's all. Nothing huge.
This is Today News. The Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers returning nostalgia of the week. We'll have a pregame tribute at the TD Garden in Boston to remember former Bruins and Panthers right wing Jimmy Hayes, who passed away last offseason. The tribute will be on October 30, as what we're recording today.
Man, you have to do that. And Jimmy Hayes, maybe he wasn't the greatest Bruin player in the world, but you want to know what? He was part of this franchise, and he was part of the Panthers franchise as well. Obviously, he was a pretty key contributor on both teams when he was there. Definitely Bruins and Panthers, probably the two most popular teams he played on. You mentioned Jimmy Hayes. You're like, oh, yeah, he played on the Bruins and the Panthers. I think this is not only a good marketing tool, but really just a respectful thing to do. I like the fact that they are honoring Jimmy Hayes, and I hope I'm assuming it's going to be a great ceremony. But good for the Bruins and TD Garden to set something up here.
Yeah, and one thing that in the first game, New Jersey and Chicago. With the jerseys, Devils were wearing Broadway, which that's his nickname.
Yep.
And Chicago doing what they have on the back. I think that the teams that Hayes played for really hit a home run. What they want to do, and I think for a team like Boston and Florida, the early years. They're doing a great job with that. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Next.
Yep.
Kings defenseman Drew Doughty will miss at least 6 to 8 weeks due to a major knee injury.
Oh my goodness, Drew. You have been so bad the past few seasons. I'm not going to lie. Drew Doughty's been an awful defenseman. But last year, he started to pick it up a little bit. He got better. And this year, my God, 7 points in 4 games. This was the year he was going to start to get back in his old form. He's only 31. I know you take a look at Drew Doughty much earlier. Yeah, he's only 31.
I thought he's older than that.
Oh, no, he definitely looks older, but no, he's 31 years old. I know, I was shocked at that when I was looking it up, but 30, you can come back. Even though you've had a couple of bad years, you can come back at an age like 31. And this was Doughty's redemption year. Kings defense was finally creating a mold for itself. It was finally improving. Doughty had 6 points or 6 assists, 7 points total in the first 4 games. Major knee injury out 4 to 6 months. And oh no, now the Kings, where's their number 1 defenseman? Nowhere. And now LA's been struggling since the Doughty injury, as you'd expect. It's just unfortunate. Yeah. Injuries are going to happen in sports, but this one's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. All right, moving on. Red Wings defeat the Capitals with an overtime game win by Dylan Larkin and complete a 2-0 comeback.
To your pleasure of going to the game.
Yep. Next.
No
comment. Golden Knights re-signed defenseman Zach Whitecloud to a 6-year, $2.75 deal. Hold on. I'll give it a round of applause because Golden Knights re-signed their defenseman. But hold on, I have a question. We're talking about ELCs. I think this is Whitecloud's last year in the ELC. Do you know what you did? You gave him a 6-year deal. Should we give him a 3 or 4 year deal? Like we said!
I would have gave him 3. I definitely would have gave him the 3-year deal. Listen, The 6-year deal for Zach Whitecloud of all players, you're looking like, whoa. What is Vegas doing? Here's the thing. $2.5 million a year for someone like Zach Whitecloud, that isn't awful. If you gave him the 2.5 for 3 or 4 years, not 6, this contract would have been perfect. But you had to throw in the extra 2 to 3 years where if Whitecloud doesn't really improve, he's going to be 30 by the time this contract expires. If he just kind of stays as that, he's a decent top 4 defenseman, but he's not anything great, this can be a very mini cap hit moving forward. And I'm not saying it will be, but it has a very good likelihood to be. This year, he only has 1 assist in 4 games. Last year, he only tallied 12 points in 51 games. That seems like a 2-3 year contract for me. I know Whitecloud has speed. He is a decent offensive defenseman. But listen, not worth a 6-year deal. And again, the money's necessarily not awful, but it's definitely the length of this contract that makes it look worse than it is. He's going to improve. I'm not worried about that. I think this will end up being a decent contract in the long run, but I would have gave him 3 or 4 first and then maybe give him like another 3-4 year deal after that if he was deserved of a re-signing.
Yeah. Next, now we have a nostalgia of the week, but the whole thing itself is not that good. Our nostalgia of the week is Andrew Brunette.
Well, because obviously interim head coach for the Florida Panthers, now the full-time head coach for the Panthers after Joel Quenneville resigned from his duties after the 2010 Blackhawk allegations. Same thing with Stan Bowman. He's getting the axe. Even though the Panthers were 7-0 with Quenneville, now 8-0 with their win last night. They're a great team. They still are a great team. But listen, Joel Quenneville, as much as a great coach he is, again, you abused your players, you lost all my respect. And he was a key contributor in that whole Blackhawks incident. Again, Quenneville definitely should have an NHL job. He definitely is an NHL caliber coach, but based off of what he did, that's probably going to be the end of his coaching career. And again, a coach that very well could have landed in the Hall of Fame is now going to be remembered for what he did, and very unfortunate. In other news, the Panthers were also interested in John Tortorella, so we'll see if that happens, but I don't know. So I think Brunette's going to do fine. I think he's going to ultimately be the Panthers head coach moving forward. Maybe they hire Tortorella as an assistant. We'll see. But yeah, Panthers kicking the tires on Tortorella. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, Coach Q out. And again, I don't feel sorry at all because you abuse your players. Done.
Next, we have our true nostalgia of the week.
But first, all right, well, we'll do this. See this man?
Yep.
He's about to tear apart all the European leagues. Absolutely unreal. Last year, averaging 17 points in 18 games. The year before, 33 points in 48 games. Hey, listen, I was actually watching some Korpikoski highlights last night. And you know what? I noticed one thing. He may no longer have his wrist shot, but I will tell you this much. He is a fantastic body present in front of the net. Absolutely fantastic body in front of the net. The amount of tipping goals he gets nowadays is absolutely ridiculous. He scored, what was that? I think 4 goals last year. He's more of an assist maker now, too, I should mention. But he always kind of has been more of an assist points first guy. 4 goals last year. 3 of those 4 goals were tip-ins. And the other one was a wraparound. He is that type of player who's going to get low, get the grindy goals. That is what he's supposed to do, and he's been doing a magnificent job doing that with TPS in Turco in the Liga League. Now he's in the Swiss League. As you see, they're signing a contract this year in Swiss A with Belly HC. We'll see how he does. So far, he's played 4 games this year and hasn't tallied a point, but You know, it is. The season's still young, and I'm so confident that he will turn it around and have a pretty good season. Ori, I'm counting on you, man. You're my man. Favorite NHL player from Finland.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let me down, please.
Yes. Grant has been begging to have Lord Korpikoski be our nostalgia of the league, and guess
We
what?
got it. We got it. We finally got it. After a whole year and a half of waiting, we got it.
Yes.
He has been featured on Power Skate at long last.
And finally, Maple Leafs signed defenseman Morgan Rielly to an 8-year, $7.5 million deal.
Well, now on to a much more significant topic. 8 years, $60 million for Morgan Rielly. I don't hate this contract, actually. So far, I got 4 assists in 8 games. 27 years old? That's really the only concerning thing I have about this. By the time the deal expires, he'll be 35. You just got to hope he doesn't fall off a cliff statistically. But at the rate he's going, it doesn't seem like Riley's really slowing down. I'm not going to knock down this contract at all. I mean, yeah, sure, I can be like, oh, you should give him 6 or 7 years because of his age. But really, I think this is fine. I know Toronto's kind of slammed up against the cap, but they're going to definitely be clearing some salary cap when they dump Marner in a couple years. Oh, yes. The Maple Leafs are not keeping Mitch Marner for much longer, ladies and gentlemen. And I think that's ultimately why they're like, you know what? We need to re-sign our good offensive defenseman here. The issue is, does this help you win a playoff series? Yeah, you re-sign Morgan Rielly. Does it help you win the playoffs? I don't know. Personally, I don't think so. Because, again, you're throwing more guaranteed money at one player.
Yeah.
And you're already throwing enough guaranteed money at Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, and Jake Muzzin.
Yeah,
I mean, Jack Campbell's going to need to get re-signed long-term.
Yeah. I mean, like...
It's a good contract, but just Toronto, again, they're so slammed up the cap, it's not good.
Yeah, like Morgan Rielly, he might be 36, I believe.
Yeah.
He might lose production when he's like 33 or 34.
That's what I'm saying. You can make it like a 6-7 year deal instead of the 8, but I mean, think about it this way. Is Toronto even going to beat playoff contenders in 8 years? Probably not, because by that time, Marner, Matthews, Rielly, they're all going to be in their 30s, like mid to late 30s. Tavares will likely be retired. Quite a bit of those players on the current team will likely be retired.
Yeah.
Again, it's the deal itself is certainly not horrible, but it's just Toronto with like, the salary cap issue. It combines into one. You still have a great player, which is nice, but what are you going to do when free agency comes this year? Yeah. Kind of like that.
Yeah. All right, that's going to wrap up for season 4, episode 12 of the Powerskateshow. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys really do appreciate it. If you do, please hit the like button. That greatly appreciates lots to us. That's going to make us do more podcast videos in the near future. With that, do you guys want to follow our personal social media accounts? Links will be in the description below. Do you guys want to follow the Powerskateshow for news, updates, and when we go live and all that good stuff? Links will be in the description below. Do you guys want to follow Grant from Fuzz of Sports on Instagram? The links and it's YouTube for a talk show, Fuzz Sports from 1 to 3, and on his YouTube channel, and subscribe to my own YouTube channel. I'll throw that in the description as well. Doing a little bit of gaming videos as we speak. So yeah, Grant, would you like to add anything about?
I don't know. Just appreciate you guys stopping by. Make sure again go follow Powerskate and Flusher Sports on Instagram. Go subscribe to all the accounts here on YouTube. And yeah, of course, you know what you're getting from me. Again, weekly commentary videos, which is always fun, I guess, if you want to stop by. Of course, as always, if you want to be a guest on Powerskate, reach out to us.
And
we will have you on. We will have you on if you reach out to us.
And we will give you guys the information.
Yes.
So yeah,
Get you all hooked up.
and guys, we're gonna sign off right now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on season 4, episode 13 of the Powerskate Show podcast. Have a good night, everybody.